Many beginners find prone 360s challenging. Admittedly, there's a bit of a jump from the skills you've already learned to this one. You'll want to start with an assisted prone 360. To do this, you'll put your hand in the water, then turn in the direction of the hand you use. Once you start to spin, you'll slide yourself forward onto your board so your weight is more centered. You'll bring your feet out of the water by bending your knees like a drunken scorpion. You can start the spin with your legs rather than your hands, but it looks sloppy and teaches you bad habits that you'll eventually need to overcome. Now it's time to do an unassisted 360. You can start a prone 360 anywhere you want, but it looks better on the sides of the transition or even on the sides of the flat. Most people don't do them in the middle of the wave. Slowly ride from one side of the wave towards the opposite side. From here, you will need to decisively stop your momentum. Simultaneously, you will push down with your elbow on your inside rail. That's this one. And you will also apply a considerable amount of pressure onto your board with your hip. Furthermore, you will pull up with your hand at the same time. As soon as you start to travel in the opposite direction, pull or slide yourself onto your board. In other words, you'll be sliding forward as you start to turn backwards. You'll want to lift your legs out of the water, and for maximum style points, you'll cross your legs like this. A lot of people twist their body and rotate onto one hip as they spin. Although a lot of people find this easier than keeping your hips flush with your board, you don't score as high in competition, and if you can prevent it from the get-go, you should, because it's a difficult habit to break. When you do prone spins, your hips should remain flat on your board. Don't panic when you're backwards. Keep your back arched and your knees bent. Once you've completed your rotation, just drop your feet back into the water and stop your spin. If you want to do another 360, all you have to do is pull up on the rail and repeat the process. Remember, it's easier to spin counterclockwise in the northern hemisphere and clockwise in the southern hemisphere. But seriously, 360s are the building blocks of almost every prone trick. Most people spin in what I call a natural way, which means if you spin on this side of the wave, you will spin in this direction. And if you spin on this side of the wave, you will spin in this direction. Some people do it differently. When you're doing prone 360s, you need to turn your head in the direction you want to spin. This is very important. Once you have completed your spin, start to carve. Don't just go down the wave. This demonstrates that you have control and that you're ready for your next move.